Cafe.
Sexy baby, bossa go.
Cafe.
Fine bobo, bossa go.
Cafe.
Hey, bossa go.
Cafe.
Bossa go.
Let me see your back girl on the floor. Let me see your back girl on the floor. Let me see your back girl on the floor. Let me see your let me see your let me see your back girl on the floor. Let me see your back girl on the floor. Let me see your back girl on the floor. Let me see your back girl on the floor.
Hey, welcome. I'm proud to announce to you that the new season of Just Can Be Podcast has commenced. It has happened. It is here again. Yes, and it is going to be exclusive. Yes, this season, as you can see from the caption and the theme of this season is called Divorced and Not Defeated. Yeah. It is very important that we enter and venture into this world. And, I'm going to be your cruise captain on this ship because I've been there, done there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I conquered. Yeah. Victory has different shades of color. And we have to embrace it no matter how it comes. And I am so blessed to be happy, alive, and be in this place where God can use me as a vessel of light. So welcome to our new season of the Just Cappy Podcast. And let us laugh to the glory of God. Yes, laughter is medicine. Let's laugh. Yes. It is important to bring some laughter into your life, and that comes from within. If it can come from within, it's not the one that is just all over the place. You understand? Just laugh because somebody says you should laugh. You understand? Don't just laugh because somebody says you should laugh. You should laugh because you want to laugh. Capish? Comprende? Yeah. Good. So welcome to the Just Cappy Podcast, and I am here ready to, I'm pregnant with information. I'm here to express it. So we are going straight into our first season's topic, and it's called Mindset Before Marriage. What is your mindset before marriage? And I'm going to be expressing this from my perspective. Don't forget, the Just Cappy Podcast is my show where I'm unfiltered, unhinged, and I'm unapologetic because it's my view, my opinion. And wherever it is that it works for you, pick the nuggets and ride with it. Everything I say might not work for everybody. There's not one template to how you can live life because we are about 6 billion expression of God. 6 billion. Over 6 billion. So there is no way that all of us are going to have exactly the same experiences, but we can learn from the experiences of others. Even the Bible is a history book. It's a book confirming a lot of experiences with the Holy Spirit, with God, by abiding with God, and so many situations that have happened, that have occurred. So when people fight the idea of someone who has been beaten, broken, and they have now risen above their ashes and say that they do not qualify to express or teach or coach, they are wrong. I don't think anybody in any field will be able to get any better if they don't learn from their failure. Imagine the aircraft that we fly now, and the whole idea of flying was shut down just because of because of the first crash that happened. The only reason why the aviation industry is still flying people is because for every time there's a crash, they do due diligence at the crash investigation to ensure that it doesn't take lives any longer. Is it going to stop airplanes from crashing? No, but it's new information will come up again. And I do not pray that we need to lose so many lives before we gain knowledge. And this is applicable to every area and aspect of life. That look, it is better to see that someone has fallen and take a cue from that fall so you can maneuver that pitfall or that hole than just plunging in blindly. And what I see that is happening a lot in the world that we are in is the hypocrisy in the way we look at the whole marriage thing. In fact, a lot of things is being looked at hypocritically, especially in this side of the world. But one thing is very, very common, that people just like to paint a picture, the picture of perfection of a life for themselves through somebody else's life. Like, you want to see picture perfect. You know yours is not perfect, but you don't want to relate with somebody else's imperfection. Instead, you want to judge their imperfection, but then turning a blind eye to your imperfection. I just don't get it. I do not understand it. But unfortunately, it is the world that we live in. However, we cannot sit back and watch failure, evil, thrive. We can't. Failure is even information. Failure is not the problem. It's what we do with that information that is the problem. And we cannot allow people to bully us into thinking that the moment we make mistakes in our lives, or there's a dent to the picture that they created for you, you automatically don't deserve to live, exist, and express. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, people can only hold you by their thoughts and actions, but you are the one who are the author and finisher of your own life, your own destiny. According to the will of God in your life, you hold the mantle. Nobody else can hold it for you. They can only get the power you give to them. Yes, it's the power you give to them. So if you listen to people, you're giving them power over you. Just the same way I can give you power, feed you power and light from my utterances, and you can absorb it and use it as an anchor in whatever area that you want to hold firm in. And that's why I'm here. Like I said in my post, that this is a decision I have made, that my mistakes will be expressed. The reason why we are making a lot of mistakes right now is because the people before us are not telling us the whole truth. That includes our moms, our dads, our brothers, our sisters, our uncles, our aunts, a lot of people before us. Even some of our religious leaders, they do not tell us the truth. We keep painting this picture perfect idea of what living is. And we are failing, and we are failing horribly so. Like, I don't understand why people are fighting the idea of the complaint that something is failing and people are getting out of the failed state. Rather, they hold on to the toxicity because of the idea of what that thing is. Marriage is just a label for a situation. And if the situation is not done properly, you are going to have a catastrophic implosion that destroys the people in it. God does not like divorce, does not mean God loves a broken, deformed thing you call a marriage, especially when it's not working to the favor and to the will of God. The idea of marriage is not just the joining of two bodies. It's the joining of two destinies, alignment of purpose. If the purpose that God wants from your marriage is not fulfilling his purpose, so do you think God is happier just because you are together? No, think about it. Just because you are living together, I think God is happy, so you are useless to his purpose, but he's just happy that you are together. We need to have a rethink of this, and I'll be right back.
This is LMC and TK, Happy J.
And I'm right back. And just like I was saying earlier, that the mindset we have and the perception that we've built concerning marriage, it's failing. Look at the date. See, one thing I don't understand in Nigeria is that, especially Nigeria, let me speak of Nigeria because that's where I live, is that we glorify this marriage thing so much. We love the status that it places us, the value and validation that it gives us, that it has become a place that rots criminal mindsets, evil is being perpetrated because the guise of it protects all those evil. The idea of being married to people is more important than the life in the marriage. And I do not think that is God's plan. No, that is not God's plan. That two of you should become one to destroy each other. I don't think that is God's plan. And if it is not working, don't now go and relax on the idea that God does not like divorce. Yes, he doesn't like the divorce of two souls that are meant to be together, working according to the law, according to the lifestyle, according according to the way that we should be living. He would not want those two to separate. But when two people have come together and the foundation of their coming together was terrible and they both are not even putting the effort to work on it, don't forget, it's not one person that makes a marriage work. One person can be the pillar that can activate or catalyze. But what happens in chemistry is there are some elements that are just dormant in behavior. Nothing you put on them, they don't react to anything. What do you do at that moment? You cannot take a horse to the river and force it to drink. And that is when it becomes toxic. It is only the institution of marriage that I see that protects an abusive partner, a one that is monstrous to his fellow human. Let's even remove the idea of husband and wife. Let's look at it from the perspective of two human beings living together. If we want to abide by everything that marriage should be, one of the first things is two whole people coming together. We mostly have two broken people coming together, and it is fine as long as both of them can identify and understand that they want to fix it. They want to grow. So there are two things. It's either you have entered it already and you say, okay, we don't enter them, let's start fixing. Or before you enter it, fix all the things that needs to be fixed before you enter it so that you can continue the journey. Because look, human beings will always evolve. They will always be changed. We will always need fixing in one way or the other. But there are foundational fixes that if they are not fixed, even being able to fix anything after that will be impossible. And that brings us to mindset. Where did we form the mindset that allowed us to even choose the partners that we chose? Let me start from my background. I come from a family that is divorced. Like, okay, let's see. You all need to get this book because a lot of answers, a lot of questions, a lot of assumptions that you have will be erased when you read my book. And this book has, and I say that categorically, 100% amazing positive effect on everyone that has read it. Like every copy that I've sold, I have more than 70% of those people reaching back out to say, this book has done its work. I didn't write it for profit. I wrote it as an assignment. The background of my family when it comes to marriage is nothing to take home with in terms of how I should behave as a wife. No. In fact, I was learning what not to do or how not to be the same. It was so toxic. It was all over the place. And better still, it was tit for tat kind of relationship. If this person does wrong, the other person is looking for the next wrong that they're going to do to counter the other person's wrong. Really, I made a decision, an emphasis on decision, not to want to live that life, not to want to be the cheating wife, not to want to be the toxic mom. It was a decision from childhood that I do not want it. I was able to maneuver and escape a lot of things that my toxic parenting did. And I was able to emerge Kafi. I was able to be successful. The pride of the nation. An inspiring role model. I didn't give myself that title. But guess what? It's not everything that you're able to escape from. One thing I did not escape from was the conditioning that silently wove itself inside of me. And that came from a place of the lack of love. When I say love, it's not that they buy you shoes, they buy you clothes. No. I saw lovelessness happen and manufacture itself in different expressions in my home. And I saw the idea that we lived in an environment that only says they love you or you are good or you are a good child whenever you only perform an act of service. I saw how living with one parent affected my need and how I sought after love. It did. It's the reason why I chose the partners that I chose even before I chose my husband. It's the reason why I was always looking for that place of emotional comfort, emotional bandage, a place where I would be loved, somebody that look at me and say they want to be with me. I did not even check all other boxes because for me, I'm a soldier of life. I'm in Daboski. I went through everything. There's nothing any man need to do for me again. I'm Gucci in that area. I'm okay, stable. But I wasn't Gucci emotionally. I wasn't Gucci psychologically when it comes to making those plans. And I was worse off, not Gucci, when it comes to information. I studied everything that I wanted to be. I was diligent in acquiring information and getting the right experience to plunge into everything that made me Kafi. But I never sought knowledge when it came to emotion, because I just lived by what I watched on TV, movies, and all that. And I believed that, love is all about, it's an energy that radiates. And once the other person feels it and you give it right and you are truthful and you're honest and you give, it will come back to you exactly the same way. How wrong was I? That was naive. But innocently, that was what led me to where I am. From the family to what I've formed as a mindset. I love marriage. I love family. I love the idea of raising in love. I love partnership and companionship. But the need for companionship, because I didn't love myself enough to be in a good relationship with myself, made me fall for what it is now that has come to transpire and rear its ugly head in what is the marriage that I found myself in. So as much as we can blame the other party for their input, if we can trace the roots of what is, we can tell why we even succumbed to that in the first place. So when we begin to change our mindset, we can get a better chance at doing it better. I wish that the energy of needing to get this right was the same on both ends. Probably we would have. But unfortunately, I can't force that. That would be manipulation. That would be witchcraft. And sometimes separation can bring clarity. Even divorce. Divorce is just a state. It's equally a state of a broken marriage. And it broke. It can be mended together. Separation sometimes does not allow the people, they make them feel like, I can still get away with it because she's coming back or he's coming back. But divorce makes it like, he's gone, he's not coming back. This is the end. But is it the end of life? No. Is it the end of each party? No. If I find my salvation faster, my partner might get his own a year later, 2 years later, it doesn't matter. But what matters most is that we get there. It's not how far, but how well we get there. And once you can get that, the world will be a better place. So bitterness and resentment doesn't make anything. Well, what are they trying to prove? I'm better, he's better, you're better. What does that prove? No. We want a better world for all of us to live in. And that's what I'm going to leave you with this episode, because there's a lot to talk about. On to the next episode. Stay tuned, because the next topic is going to be really juicy. Adios, amigos. Don't forget, tune into who you are and find the mindset that got you there. Dig deep. You shall find the answer. Mwah. I love you.